So I had a lot of problems because 6 volumes is daunting, even from a commercial point of view. So I think what the solution simply was in the fact that you hit the refresh button, come to 2023, and understand that there are now options to do things.
I
And
think this entire thing of cross-disciplinary of the lawyer and the writer together brought you to this level.
you see, you have to find a solution. There is absolutely no problem without a solution. So if you look at it, and I actually first wrote to Ingram and I said, do you do printing? And they said, yes, we do. These are entirely print on demand. So we do not efface the environment, print so many copies in advance, and then wonder whether people are going to buy it or not. We are going to print as many copies as there are demanded. So in that sense, there is no pressure that you have to sell so many copies or you have to print so many copies. And once the copies are already printed, then you run back to the publisher and tell him, will you come out with a new series? And he comes and tells you, I don't have the money, get me the funding. None of that happens here.
And it says also removes the problem of editing.
Exactly.
You don't have to go into a second and third edition and so on.
And it's a permanent asset. So as many as you...
So how did you come on this set 6?
So, you mean dividing it?
Yes,
That was a major problem because one
Tell
is...
us about that, because these are the ideas that I think will interest everybody.
So I'll tell you what happened. I think the first major challenge was how do you pin down a cloud? Because you're talking about a social narrative, and a social narrative is always changing. Something happens, and something else happens, and something else happens. And the problem was how do you actually structure such a huge legacy? That was the first problem. So and the only way to structure it was using Indian narratives, the divinities, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and that was the only way in which this all fell into place. There were so many other ways of doing it. I could have taken all the European influences, put them together, or I could have taken photography and put it together, or I could have taken legal aspects and put it together. There were various ways of doing it. But the only way in which it fell into place was to take something purely Indian. Like,
You mean the myths?
the myths together, the divine images together. This is actually volume 3. So for those of y'all who think that 6 volume, that's volume 3, that's volume 2, and of course yesterday Rajmataji launched volume 1. So the challenge was how do you